Sorry everyone, I don't know what happened. It looked like it kicked me out. So I'm back with part 2. So I'm doing my 1/4 of an inch on the lining panel and my let's make sure that this is correct. Sorry everyone that's getting on. I don't know what happened. It just stopped the live, so I'm doing the part 2 here. That way we have the full bag on video. So right now I am just doing the pocket panels like the pattern says. I am sewing at a 1/2 inch, making sure that my bottom seam of my pocket divider is right up against the seam of the bottom panel. Angela. Hi, Xandria. I hope I said your name right. Can't get rid of it so easy. It's so funny. I know, I didn't even realize it kicked me out until I heard myself talking. I was like, wait, what is that? Okay, so I just, oh, there we go. I thought it was stuck. Well, it was stuck. I couldn't get it out from. So I'm clipping my threads, or my threads. So we just did one side of the panel, making sure that this is still lined up to the bottom right here. I know. No, I was coming back. Don't worry. Okay. So now we're going to do the other side. So I'm going to clip, making sure that this is still close. Let me make sure. Yes. I'm still doing it correctly, I believe. Okay, so I'm going to pin or clip all the way up. We're so close to being done, guys. So close. So once again, 1/4 inch. I'm at 3 for my stitch length. If I can just get this under my sewing machine or under my foot. Okay. There we go. Okay. So back stitch, 1/4 inch seam allowance to attach this. This is probably the biggest bag I've made. Okay, back stitch. Whoops. Sorry guys, my nails broke, but let me grab a I feel like I have a nail clipper somewhere. I guess I don't. Sorry guys. This will bother me. No, Angela, you could definitely do it. Okay, so, ooh, got dust in my nose. Okay, so we have the divider panel done. And we really only have a page left, I believe. Actually, we're on our last page, guys. Okay, the exterior main panel should be right sides together and the lining panel should be right sides together. So mine are actually not right sides together. They are goodness gracious. This is all a hot mess. Just gonna close my zipper real quickly so that I can figure out how. So the exterior main panel should be right sides together and the lining panel should be right sides together. Okay, so I just need to flip this out. Oh, Rebel, that's so good to know. I'm glad I'm helping people. These are just things I've learned along my journey of sewing that has made things easier for me. Okay, so I'm gonna open the zipper just a tad because you need that open so that you can turn the bag out. So we're gonna sew right to the existing stitch line. So pin the side seams to the exterior panel, matching our raw edge, pins the sides, lining. Okay, so we're gonna grab this here. Oh, I moved. I'm gonna grab my pins. So now we're just going to match up the raw edges of the lining. So the divider pocket's going to be sandwiched in between. And you're going to do the same thing for the yeah, they want you to open the main zipper the entire way. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. It probably makes it a little bit easier to sew. Okay, and we're just going to continue pinning all the way down. So we're matching these edges here. So we're going to match this because then we're going to, once it's sewn, we're going to triangle, or yeah, like square it out, I guess you would say. I say triangle, so I'll show you. You're gonna get it and pull. Well, it's not gonna come undone like that, but you're gonna get it and pull, and then you're gonna sew. So I am making the Linette business bag, and I have a quick picture I can show you. This is what we're making. And we're so close to being done. So right now we're just pinning the sides together. So start with the main. Okay, and we're going to just make our way all the way. And now we're gonna clip our main panel. And then, or pretty much after this, weird. So I'm kind of also making sure that so I'm gonna go back on this side and check and make sure that my, the vinyl accent panels are aligned with each other, which they are. So for this one, let's see. Sew along the edge of the exterior lining does not get caught when nearing the top. So it doesn't say it. I don't think that so we are not, it doesn't look like we are sewing all the way, so we don't have to worry about that. What we're doing is we're gonna stitch from here to this, you see where we have this stitching right here? That's where we're gonna sew to and then stop. Then we're gonna go to the main panel and we're gonna start from the bottom and do the same exact thing and go all the way until we get to that, existing stitching. So it won't matter what way the teeth are. That's how I'm understanding it, because it doesn't say anything about what way the teeth are supposed to line up. I'm using marine vinyl. Okay, so let's start with we're gonna start with the main, or the lining. We're gonna sew it's a 1/2 inch seam allowance. And remember, we're gonna stop as soon as we get to that existing stitch that's already there. And that's the stitch that we used when we were adding the zipper onto. So I have my stitch length at a 3 since I'm constructing. That's what I like for my bag construction, either a 2 3/4 or 3. Last time it was confusing the last time when we were making the Ethel, me having to say 3 1/4 so much. I kept saying 2 1/2 or 2 3/4. See, I can't even say it. So I was like, I'm just gonna do a stitch at 3. So that's me. I'm barefooted. I hardly ever have shoes on, which I probably should put shoes on because I always step on pins. So 1/2 inch. Half inch seam allowance all the way up, making sure you keep control of the bag. Because sometimes with all this like weight, it wants to shift. So I'm gonna roll. Okay. So if you're on a domestic, we're coming up on this bulk of the divider panel where it has the zipper zipper tabs and the 2 layers of deckable heavy. So if you have a domestic, you might have to hand crank or use a what is that thing? A hump jumper. So I'm gonna make sure that this is out, or this is straightened. There's no puckering or anything underneath. And I wanna make sure everything is still matching. I'm still at a 1/2 inch seam allowance, and I'm almost to that existing stitch. One more, and then I'm gonna back stitch. Okay, and go. So then I will show you. So I'm just going to trim up this. So what I was saying about making sure that the panel wasn't caught was making sure that it was nice and even. You don't want it to turn over and you accidentally catch it like that. So, and you see how I went right up to that existing stitching? It's right up to there. So you're gonna do the same exact thing to the rest of the 3 sides. So the pattern says to start from the bottom. It seems like it's a little bit easier to start from the bottom than going from the top and down. And I lost my clips, but I got them. We'll put them back where they belong. Okay, 1/2 inch seam allowance. Start at the bottom, back stitch. Just making your way. I'm gonna make sure that this is rolled so that I have control of my bag while I'm sewing. Okay, so I'm gonna make sure that everything is straightened out. There's no puckering, that my lining or my main panel isn't being caught. Then I'm going to sew up into that existing stitching, back stitch, and done. Okay, and now you have one side of your Linette bag done. Now we're gonna do the other side, starting from the bottom, 1/2 inch seam allowance. Making sure you have that bag so they rolled up so you can control it, because this is a big bag. Back stitch. And remember, since we're doing the main panel, we do have that deckable heavy in there, so you want to make sure that you take it slow when you get to that point. Hello, thank you for joining. I feel like I've been on forever, but I've been having so much fun. I don't even realize how late it is. Okay. So I'm gonna roll this, continue going at a 1/2 inch seam allowance all the way up. Making sure everything stays together. When you adjust, make sure your needle is down. Okay, so I'm getting to that really thick, part of my my pocket. So I'm gonna take it easy so I don't break a needle. There we go. Okay, now I want to make sure that my lining is nice and smooth, and that I don't have any puckering. I think I'm close to like almost 4 hours. My last video, it shut off, so I'm not sure. So now I'm going up right to that. For me, it's 140. It's 142 for me. So right up to that existing stitch. And now I am trimming off. Everything is nice. Yes. Hi Shannon. So I am making the Linette Swoon business bag, and we are right at the finish line. We are assembling the bag. So close to it being done. So remember, starting at the bottom, 1/2 inch seam allowance. I know I keep repeating it, but sometimes I tend to forget. So it's a nice little reminder. So I'm gonna make sure everything is nice and aligned. Make my way down. Okay. Roll my bag. And make sure that there's no puckering under your lining or your main panel. And you're going to sew right up to that existing line. Back stitch. Hi Shannon, honestly, this was so last minute. I had a custom order for the Linette bag, and I figured I was gonna be in my room alone, so I was like, I'll hop on, see if I get any engagement. It was definitely last minute, but I can tell you right now, this will not be my last Linette bag. I probably will end up making another one, most likely. Okay. So I'm just gonna trim this. Trim my threads, make sure I don't have any. Okay. All my threads are trimmed. There we go. Okay. So. What conference workshop is it? Is it for work, or is it like some kind of sewing workshop? This is my first Linette bag that I've made. This is my first time making this bag. Okay, so now we're gonna trim the side edges of the lining panel. Oh wait, which is what we just did. We're gonna trim the seam allowance down to 1/8 of an inch. So now we can trim our seam allowance, 1/8 of an inch. That way we don't have any bulk. So it's gonna be thick right where that Decoville heavy is at. So just be careful. Almost there, there we go. You know, I started going live and then I was like, ooh, maybe, should I have? But I figured, you know, people need to see that everybody makes mistakes, you know? It's okay. And I think I even made a mistake. I made a mistake of where I sewed something wrong. Okay, so getting to the Decoville, it's gonna be super tough, so just be careful. Like the last side, just work, make your way down. Whew, that was an arm workout. Okay, so now we're gonna box the corners, match a raw curve edge of the contrasting bottom to the exterior. So you're gonna do this. We're gonna pin it. Thank you, Rebel. So I'm just getting this last piece put on because we're gonna sew this curve. Yeah, so we're gonna center the seams. We're gonna sew at a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Whoops. We're gonna do the same to this side. So I'm just matching raw edge to raw edge. It's okay, I had to unsew something. It happens. So, oops, slap myself. I'm beating myself up. First I punched myself in the face, then I slapped myself in the face with this bag. Okay. So I'm just gonna squish this down a little bit so that I can get to that 1/2 inch. And I'm going to make sure my raw edges are matching. And I'm gonna start right where that existing seam is. There we go. So we're sewing at a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Oh no. Okay, my phone should be charged, so I'm going to unplug this because I feel like I'm gonna end up so close. We're so close. I know, Brenda, we're so close. I can feel it. Oh, snipped my finger. Okay. Now Now we're gonna do the same thing for this side. I'm just gonna squish this down, and we are gonna sew at a 1/2 inch seam allowance, just like the other side. We're so close. Whoops. My chair got stuck on the foot. Let's see, I think we're gonna trim. Okay, so we're gonna trim to 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Do this side, trim it down. I'm just gonna catch this because I want to make sure that this is So I'm going to show you what I did. Just wanted to make sure, because remember when we put the panel on the straight edge, we had to mark that 1/2 inch. So I wanted to make sure that I joined it. I kind of went straight a little bit. See right here where I went straight? I kind of want it to join a little bit so that I can trim that 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. And I just made sure that I went over where that stitching was to lock it in. Hello, Paula. Okay, so we're gonna do the same exact thing to our other panel, to our lining panel. Okay. Hi, Donna. I'm so glad y'all could catch some, because I know everyone that was on the other side of where I was at, y'all weren't able to catch my other live or to chit chat with me and stuff. So it's nice to be able to meet my Australian and my England friends. So, Rebel, I think it's just the way my camera is. It's switched. I'm a righty. Hello. Yes. So it's in selfie mode. That way I can see, make sure that my camera view is correct and to be able to see the comments. Ooh, hi Margaret. Hi everybody. Netherlands, Scotland. I have Florida, Norway. Yes, Brenda, it's mirror image. Okay, we're almost done. So we're gonna do the same thing, half inch seam allowance. So be careful because this bulk is pretty big right here on this, where the divider panel is at. So it's gonna be a little tricky, but we can do it. Oh, I hope I didn't hit my camera. So I'm gonna put my foot down so that I can hit that curve. Okay. It's okay, Rebel. Ooh, South Africa, hello. I'm so glad that I get to chit chat with y'all. And y'all are able to catch one of my lives. There'll probably be plenty more of these because I tend to work late since I have four boys at home and they just started school. So my schedule is changing now that I'm not in, they're not on a summer break. Seam allowance. So be careful over the seam because that's where that divider panel is at, and it's very thick. So be careful not to break a needle. Yes. Sewing has opened up a whole new community to me, and I found that people who sew are a lot nicer than any of the other hobbies that I've been a part of. They're always so willing to share. Okay, guess what? We did it. We did the panel piece. So now I'm just going to cut 1/8 of an inch like it tells me to. And I'm going to 1/8 of an inch on the other side. Be careful around that thick. Are you ready? Let me get this thread here. I am so excited to see what this looks like. Let's hope I don't punch myself in the face like I did with the pocket divider. So I'm just going to pull through the bottom panel first. And then we can go from, look at that. We still have the handles to do, so still got a little bit of time to chit chat. So I'm going to run my finger through the bottom, poke out these corners. trying to get these corners out. So I'm just gonna run my finger at the bottom to just poke it out. See, we're just poking it out. All right. Oh, sorry, I had to use my knee to, here, I'll stand up so I can use the table to, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to push it out, and then I'll, just to make sure everything is where it needs to be. So I'm just adjusting the lining. I want to make sure that everything lines up accordingly before I close the bag up. I'm straightening out the zipper panel in the middle. Guys, y'all, this is seriously the cutest. Here it is. We just need to do the handles. Look at this. Hi Lisa, we're sewing the Linette business bag. We just got done turning it right sides out. My thread zapper and zap this thread that's right here. There we go. It is so cute. It is Rebel. I love it too. Thank you, Angela. Okay. I like the foam. It's perfect. The panel, the zipper, the purse feet, it's perfect. The vinyl isn't sitting on the floor. It won't be sitting on the floor. And I'm gonna just roll these edges out because I really don't want to top stitch, but I'm gonna have to. I'm nervous about top stitching, but it needs to be top stitched because I don't like the way it's sitting. So I'm just gonna show you what it looks like closed. And so this panel goes inside here, I believe. So look how cute that is. Isn't that the cutest? I got my label. Are you talking about my bag label? I got it from, I don't remember the name of the store. I just know the lady I worked with. Her name was Angela, and I got it off of Alibaba. And I'll make sure that I post a link to everything that I use. I know I said that with the Ethel, but I'm gonna have a little bit more time tomorrow since I got this done. I can rest. So, isn't that cute? I love this like zipper panel. I'm just gonna see if I can find my computer. I wonder, I have a bigger Pro. Let's see if it fits that in there. Ooh, it fits the Pro. I think I have the biggest one. It's 16 inches maybe. So it fits perfectly. That fits perfectly in there. So let's see. I think my sister has, sorry guys, I think my sister has something like this, smaller. Ooh, this is gonna fit perfectly. She wanted it for her iPad. She has an iPad Max, and so if you have the bigger one, fits perfectly in there. Look at that. My sister wanted one like this, so I might have to make her one for my second one. Put that up there. Okay, so now all we need to do is the handle. Oh, well, no, we need to close the bag. Okay, let's do this. Let's pull out this panel. Now that I know that this panel is fine, I'm going to close it up, send this off, or I guess not send it off. So I'm just pulling it out just a little bit. I'm gonna put my fingers right in between where the seams are, and it's gonna automatically wanna curve to that 1/2 inch. And then from there, I get my pins and I pin it. So I don't have to fuss with trying to figure out where this fold needs to be. It will wanna fold on its own. Okay, now we can close this up. So we're gonna stitch this at 1/8 of an inch, and I'm gonna keep it my stitch length at a 3. Okay, I just think that's the perfect length for closing up the bag, because then you're not gonna have any gapping. So I'm just gonna make sure that I'm on the right spot. Just getting this underneath my back stitch. Almost there. So we're just doing this at 1/8 of an inch. Making sure you get as close to that edge. I think 1/8 of an inch is perfect for closing a bag. That's what I normally close it, even if it doesn't say. Once again, I lost my snips. Oh my goodness. Oh, found them. Yes, Angela, honestly, I had both my big 16-inch iPad Pro and my MacBook Pro and my iPad Pro, and it fit in there with plenty of room. I would definitely say I think waterproof canvas is perfect, especially for a bag like this that's going to be holding electronics and stuff. I mean, not that it's 100% waterproof, but like, you don't have to worry about if you go out and it's raining, you don't have to worry about those droplets getting through, because obviously it will soak through the canvas, but you don't have to worry about it going through a cotton lining either. So it gives you some protection. Okay, so perfect. So now she wants us to, or now the pattern tells us to top stitch 1/8 of an inch, I believe, from here, from this top. Yes, the shoe says, be careful not to sew through the end of the zipper. Okay. So I'm going to start right here because it's black, so you're not going to see my, you will not see my top stitching. So I'm gonna make sure that my zipper is out of the way. You don't want to accidentally top stitch it to your bag. So, 1/8 of an inch, back stitch. We're just gonna do that all the way around. Just making sure everything is nice and taut. Your lining is pushed down. Okay. So I'm just getting my fingers and I'm rubbing to roll that that seam out. Making sure that none of my other pieces are getting underneath my, like the other side isn't getting underneath, so I don't sew it closed. That would be super sad. Okay. So with my needle down, I'm going to position this so that I can get to the other side. Needle down. Okay, now I'm right at that seam where the seam meets. Needle down, and I'm gonna move and roll this so that my lining is all together. Almost there. Doing the same thing, continue making sure that and I actually did not change my stitch length, so I top stitched it out of 3, but that's okay. It's still gonna look just as nice. So we're almost to the last part. Make sure that your needle is down while you're moving everything. Needle down so I can position it to get to this next corner here. All right, so I'm getting to the end, so I'm gonna make sure I trim my seam so that I don't get this thread caught up underneath there and then it looks wonky, so. Because we are seriously at the finish line. Okay. And yes, that free arm would be a game changer. Okay, so everything is nice and top stitch. If you can see that, nice and top stitched. And now we just need to do our straps and we'll be done. Hold on a second. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna go run and make my little one a bottle real quick. Okay, sorry about that. My husband had surgery, so he's not able to get up. So I had to run to make it. Okay, guys. We are at the last part of this. Let me find my other straps. Here we go. So I'm just gonna get my ruler because I'm pretty sure in order to do the straps, we're going to mark a 2-inch center, fold it, sew it at 1/8 of an inch. I wonder if I'm missing a page. I think I am. Let me grab my... After 4 kids, I have a lot of practice. Okay, so I'm gonna pull up the pattern on my iPad because I think I'm missing a page and I just want to know how much I need to, I just want to know how much I need to turn the edge to put, attach the, around the rectangle ring. Hope that makes sense. Okay, yeah, so I breastfed all mine. We just, like, I nursed my 1-year-old until about 11 months, 10 to 11 months, but he started biting, and so I was like, no, this is not working. None of my other boys would bite. This one, yeah, and he thought it was funny, like, I could not get him to stop, so that is the only reason why he is bottle fed. Okay, so let's go to this. Okay, so we're gonna fold the ends of the handle 1/2 inch. Did I cut too many straps out? How many straps are you supposed to cut out? No. I did. I cut 4 straps when I should have only cut 2. Yeah, my little one would like bite and then like drag his teeth and pull back, and I was not able to handle it. Okay, so we're gonna fold both ends of the handle under 1/2 inch and then again 3/4 inch. Okay, so we don't need to worry about that because we have vinyl. For vinyl, we're gonna just fold over 1 inch, and I'm also gonna rivet. I'm gonna sew across and then I'm gonna rivet. Okay, so I can remove 2 of these. I'm gonna make my middle mark for this bag, and then I am done. I am so excited. I cannot wait. If it was light outside, I would drag my husband out of bed. Just kidding. He had surgery, so I'm not going to be able to. So now I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe somebody can come and help me. Social distancing pictures for me. Okay, so right now I am just marking 2 inches to get the center mark of my strap. I'm going to do the same thing, and then I'm going to add double-sided tape. You can get it from Amazon, but I recommend maybe trying and getting the Way-Wrap leather tape. I heard it's a lot stronger and it doesn't gum up your needles. Not that the double-sided tape really gums up my needle, and it's a cheaper option, but it's not meant to hold vinyl. So it doesn't have a strong hold. Okay. Thought it was gonna kick me off again, and I was gonna be so sad. Okay, I'm gonna try to get this done as quickly as possible so that I don't get kicked out. So double-sided tape, just like we did with the strap connectors. I'm going to put it down the middle, add it to my next one. Alrighty, so I'm just gonna move that one out of the way. I think I got like bit by an ant or something. My hand is starting to itch. Okay. Just gonna trim this off. And I'm just going to, so I'm gonna do how I normally do it, where I'm gonna leave a little bit of a gap so that they sit nicely when I fold it in half again. So I'm not folding all the way to the line, but leaving maybe about 1/8 of an inch, probably smaller. Like 1/16 of an inch. Because then when I do the other side, I do 1/16 of an inch, it will be 1/8 of an inch. So just continue going down. So I'm just doing the same exact thing to the other side, leaving a small gap so that I have 1/8 of an inch in the middle, and this will help it sit nicely when I fold it. So we're so close to the end, and I'm going to fold this, and then I'm going to I'm gonna grab some clips that I'm going to, whoops, threw them, and I'm going to sew it 1/8 of an inch, and then I'm going to get my, I'm gonna do the same thing to my other strap. It's okay if it's a little uneven, you can fix it. But I'll show you what I mean when you leave 1/8 of an inch gap. It sits flush. It's not going over, it's even. So that's what that's why I personally like to leave 1/8 of an inch. Okay. So I like to start on the folded side, making sure I change my stitch length to a 4. Okay. An 1/8 of an inch all the way down. Just taking it slow. Okay, now I'm just gonna go 1/8 of an inch down the side. Okay. So I'm just gonna trim up my edges here. Make sure they're nice and even. Then I'm gonna get my thread zapper and I'm gonna zap my edges so they don't fray and they look nice. Be careful not to burn your vinyl or your finger. Okay. And so I got my strap. Now I'm going to do my second one. And then we're done. We're just going to attach this. And then I had a couple of requests to do the Brooklyn, which I'm totally okay to do. Just let me know when is a good time that would work for everybody for me to go live. I will cut it live also. So just let me know. Pretty much always free. Just continue going up to that line. I just leave a little bit of a gap. So I'm just making sure that it's nice and even. For some reason it's all wonky. I don't know what is going on. I must have cut it weird. Okay. Oh, perfect. I'll make sure I do another list. Just so you can also get the zipper tape from Amazon that I used, Brenda. I don't know what my deal is. I must have not cut this right, because it is not wanting to work with me. Weird. Okay, I will try to go live then, that way everybody can catch. So now I'm just going to fold this, and then we can sew it and then attach it. I'm pretty much always free. Well, most days. My husband should be fine by the end of the week. He should be better. He just needed to sit for like 48 hours, they said. He just had his surgery, was it Tuesday? To be honest with you, nighttime would be the best because everybody's asleep. Because if I'm sewing during the day, I have like every single kid will walk in asking me to do something for them. Even when their dad did not have surgery, they still. It's like, you see I'm busy. They're all mama's boys. Okay, so I am stitching 1/8 of an inch at a stitch length of 4, starting on the folded side. I just find that it gives me the most even fold on my straps. Angela, yes. Like, if I leave my door open, my 1-year-old or almost 1-year-old will crawl as fast as he can to try to get in here. And then he opens up all my drawers and takes everything out. Okay. Okay. And of course, I lost my snips. I feel like I just had them, right? Found them. Okay. Oops. Just gonna even up my straps because they're all wonky. And I'm going to get these threads that okie dokie. Yes, I also work from home. Well, obviously I do this. This is what I do full time. Well, not necessarily bag making, but I have a fairly successful Etsy shop. Yes, of course. I will make an event for it. Uh-oh. Yes, this one was honestly just last minute. It was not planned until I pushed live. Okay, so we got our straps done. Now we can put it to our beautiful bag. So 1 inch is what we needed to so I'm actually going to do this. I was going to use my chalk pen, but found it. So what I'm gonna do, just to make this easier for me, is I'm gonna mark up 2 inches. So I'm gonna find the side I don't really like, which is this side. I don't like this side, but this has, I need to zap this. Okay. So I'm gonna mark up 2 inches, and that is the line that I'm going to fold. Image is reverse. Yes, that would be cool though. I do have a lot of lefties in my family. On my dad's side of the family, all the girls are lefties except for me. I'm the only righty, and all the boys are right-handed except for one. He is a lefty, and my oldest son is a lefty. I was not lucky enough to get the left-handed genes. So I'm just picking the ugly side of my strap. And I am just measuring 2 inches down. And so I'm measuring 2 inches down because it needs to be folded at 1 inch. So if you get this and you just match that line, you have 1 inch. And I think I'm just gonna rivet it. No, I'm gonna stitch it. I'm gonna stitch it and then I'll rivet it. So I just feel like it's so close. So at 1/4 of an inch is what I'm gonna do for my and I'm just gonna sew at about, let's see, So I sewed about an eighth of an inch. So yeah, it's about an eighth of an inch. And then I'm gonna go ahead and rivet it. I'm gonna rivet it also. So I just wanna make sure that my strap isn't crazy. And goodness gracious. Okay. And then I'm just going to, my strap is perfect. I'm going to stitch it, and then I'm going to, and then I'm gonna rivet it. And I'm just following the line that I used to stitch the inside down at that 1/8 of an inch. Okay. Oh, so my Etsy, it's Bernstein Creations at Etsy.com. I make wine glasses, like vinyl wine glasses and stuff like that. Nothing too special. But I started it maybe like 4 years ago, and it's how I continue buying supplies for my bag making addiction. Okay, so this is the strap. We are gonna rivet it. I'm gonna put one rivet in between, but I'm going to do my second strap, and then we are done. So I'm gonna go from this side because I want to make sure that my feed dogs don't accidentally tear up my vinyl. I don't think it will, because it's fairly decent vinyl, but I know sometimes like with cheaper like vinyl that I like practice with. I use the cheap materials for myself, so like those tend to fray if I And guess what I did? Of course, right at the end of it, I sewed this on wrong. Where's my seam ripper? I'm squeezing my lips too. Oh my goodness, like I am such an ugly sewer. Okay, so this is what I did. Of course, I always make a mistake as soon as I get like so close to the finish line. So I put my strap on wrong. I want my strap, my fold to go on the inside where you can't see it. Instead, I put it on the outside, like a dork. Okay, let's try this again, and I'm just gonna stitch in the same exact part that I stitched so that you can't see the holes. Yes, this happened on the Ethel bag also. Like, it always happens. Like, right when I get to the end, I do some silly mistake, and it's like, come on. Come on. But the good news is, we can fix it. Hi, Jennifer. This is the Linette business bag. Okay. I'm not worried about if the lines don't line up in the back, because you're not going to see that. I just want to make sure that I go right in the same spot I made that silly mistake. And look at that. You wouldn't have even known that I messed up. Welcome, Jennifer. Okay. I'm going to fray my edges because they're pretty terrible. And is that my edges or my frays? Go ahead, I see some out here. I'm gonna okay, so I'm just gonna make sure that my bag is correct because I don't want to make any more silly mistakes. Okay. And then all we need to do is rivet. And guess what? We did it. We made the Swoon bag. Apparently I can't talk and sew at the same time. So I just like to make sure I don't have any frayed edges. I zap my threads, but I be careful because I don't want to burn my vinyl. So here, guys, I'm so in love with this bag. I don't even want to give it away. Can I keep it? Yes, good idea. I put them away. That way I knew where they were tomorrow. For those that are new, I've lost my snips about 40 times. Okay, so now I'm gonna rivet and then we can be done, but it's gonna be a little loud, but it's okay. I wish I had like gunmetal ones, or maybe I do. No, I don't think I do. So that is on my shopping list, is to get some of those. Till then, I'll just use silver. No biggie. Okay, so I got 4 tops and 4 bottoms, and I'm just gonna eyeball it because that's just how I roll. If only I could. Okay, so 1, 2, yes, perfect. It will, the silver will match. Because the only thing different is the gunmetal, but that's because I do not have any more silver rectangles, and I did not realize that. So, here we go. So now, sorry, I'm sitting in silence. I am just putting on my rivets, and I'm going to, I'll hammer them off camera because it's gonna be loud. Okay. We did it. This is what the bag will look like. How amazing is that? Perfect. And this bag was so easy to make. I mean, obviously it wasn't as quick as I assumed it would be, but it was my first time and I feel like I could cut that time down by an hour if I can find my snips and not lose everything. But thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. I'm so glad that y'all came and chat with me and kept me company while I sewed this. So I will see you again, and don't forget, we're gonna do a sew along. The poll will start September 1st. I'll set it up. It can either be, so it's gonna be an open poll, and this is how it's gonna work. So it's gonna be empty. I'm just gonna put a poll, and y'all can, or whatever, y'all can add what pattern you want. It doesn't have to be a free pattern. It can be one that you already have. It can be a paid pattern. So just let me know. We'll see which one wins. We'll keep the polls open for probably that whole week. So we'll let it go the whole week, and then then we have the weekend to cut, get our materials, and then we can do the sew along. So I will go live probably Sunday to do the cutting, and then Monday will be the sew along. So I'm so excited. Can't wait. Thank you so much for joining me, and I can't wait to do our next one or to do our sew along. Bye, everyone.